أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. So inshallah, a very brief introduction regarding the Ziaraat that I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a very spiritual Ziaraat for everyone, and they benefit from all aspects of Ziaraat. The concept Ziaraat, to start with, comes from the word Zara, which is to visit. And the difference between the typical visiting that we do in the Arabic language when we visit one another to the Ziaraat that we mean when we are going to visit some of the holy shrines of the Imams and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam above all, or the other holy sites, is that in typical Ziaraat there is a give and take relationship between the Za'ir and the Mazur, the one who is visiting and the one who is visited. Whereas when we go to the Ziaraat of the Ma'sumin, the infallible ones, there is a take. It's not a give and take relationship. It is not to benefit the Ahlul Bayt themselves, contrary to what some may think or believe. They're not getting anything. It is us who are benefiting. So it's for our own benefit that we are going for Ziaraat. So we need to keep this in mind from the beginning, that we're not doing them a service. We're not doing them a favor. We're not doing Imam Hussein alayhi salam a favor or a service by visiting him. We are doing ourselves a favor, in fact, and that's the reality of Ziaraat of the Ma'sumin. So that is something to keep in mind. So what is it that we want to gain through that visit? Similar to what we do in terms of Hajj, which is to revive what we call in Arabic sha'air, the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala considers significant, the sacrifices that were made. When we go to Hajj, we revive some of those sacrifices. We go and walk between Safa and Marwa, remembering the sacrifice of the mother of Nabiullah Ismail ala nabina wa alihi wa alayhi salam, the wife of Nabiullah Ibrahim alayhi wa ala nabina wa alayhi salam. We go through that Hajj to revive that and remember that. When we go to visit any of the infallible ones, Ma'sumin, all of them, we are also to remember their sacrifices. This land that they were buried in is to remind us of the sacrifices that they made, and that is what signifies the Ziaraat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because he made one of the biggest sacrifices, and that is perhaps the real meaning or the real application of Dhibhin Azim that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذِبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ, the great sacrifice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to in the Holy Quran. One of the real applications is that of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that he sacrificed everything that one could and one has, from himself to the most beloved things in his life, your children, your loved ones, and not any children but the righteous children. It is one of the narrations from Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam that he says that one of the most difficult tests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is when you have a righteous child and he grows in front of your eyes, and you see how he is becoming more and more righteous, and he is getting closer and closer to God. This is in fact one of the biggest blessings according to him, and to lose that is one of the biggest calamities and tests. So to give all what he had, including his Ali al-Akbar, Ali al-Asghar, all what he had, salamullah alayh, this is a great sacrifice that we need to remember as we go there. And so we need to remember that for us to reflect on our lives, and so we can also learn to sacrifice. So this is part of what we can gain through the Ziaraat, to have that feeling of sacrificing, to have that emotion that we need to sacrifice, we need to do something for the religion, for the path of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for the religion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If he was willing, and if he said, if the religion of my grandfather would not be established but through my martyrdom, then O swords, come take me. If he was willing to give his life, what are we willing to give and sacrifice for the sake of Imam Hussein alayhi salam? These are things that we need to gain through ziyarah, reflecting on those things. That's why the famous narration that known as the Shibli, that was coming back from Hajj, and Imam Zayn al-Abidin asked him, did you reflect on your a'mal of Hajj, or was it just a physical thing that you went around the Kaaba and so on? And when the Imam explained what each of these parts meant and what it should signify and what it was meant to resemble, the man realized that he did not really do Hajj. The Imam said to him, then ma hajjait, you did not really do the Hajj. So the ziyarah is not really a ziyarah if we do not reflect on those things. Why are we going there? What are we doing? What are we trying to gain? Again, one of the biggest things is to reflect on the life of the Ma'sumin, and to gain through that, to gain some lessons and learn some perhaps some great characteristics or lessons of sacrifice, of courage, of giving, of ata, as we say. This is one aspect, but there is another aspect which is very, very important, and that is to realize, according to the hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Amir al-Mu'minin sallallahu wasallam alayhi, he says to him that, Ya Ali, you and your children, your graves and your place of burial are buqa, are parts of paradise, parts of Jannah. To realize that the places that we're going to are like parts of Jannah. Literally, they are part of paradise. So we're going to a very sacred land. In these places, the shrine, when we enter, they are very sacred. It is known, very famous hadith, that under the dome of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the hadith is not the dome, the hadith says the surrounding of his grave, that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he calls it the ha'ir. He says to one of his companions, pray for me at the ha'ir. So he gives him some money and tells him, when you go and visit the shrine of my grandfather, pray for me at the ha'ir, which is all the surrounding area of the grave of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. One of the companions asked Ibn Rasulullah, you are the wali, you are the guardian, you are the representative of Allah on earth. How come you're asking someone else for dua? He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to be prayed from certain places. Inna lillahi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mawada, places that He loves, like the times. We have certain times that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to be prayed or called upon from, the times. Jum'ah or Laylatul Jum'ah, very famous. There are places also that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to be called upon from, and these are the shrines of the Ma'sumin or the Imams, the surrounding area. They are literally buqa from biqa' al-Jannah. They are pieces of paradise. So when we go there, we need to feel. One of my teachers, in fact, said to us, when you go for ziyarah of any of the Ma'sumin, try to feel the presence, because it is there. And if you don't feel it, your heart is not there. If you don't feel it, your ruh, your spirit is not there. You need to try and be there with not just the body. We need to enter the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam with the soul. We need to ask for permission. When we come and want to visit, we stand at the door. We ask for permission, not for the body to enter. The body can enter easily. It is for the ruh to enter, for the ruh to be allowed to enter that area, that sacred area, the piece of paradise that it is, to be allowed to enter there. We need to feel that presence when we go in there. Some of the ulama, they say, don't enter until you have some tears. Try and shed tears before you enter. They say that those tears are the alama, the sign that you have been given the permission to enter. It is similar to the tears that when you have the tears in Salatul Layl, we are told that that is the sign of the acceptance. This is the sign of the acceptance or the permission that now you've been given the permission to enter the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why? Because we need to be there wholeheartedly. We want to be there with our body and soul, the ruh to be there, and to sense then what we say in Ziaraat, that we bear witness that your place is mukhtalaf al-malaika. Mukhtalaf is a place where the malaika constantly are coming and going. The malaika, some are ascending, some are descending. This is the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is a place that the malaika are continuously visiting. Groups are coming, descending, and other groups are ascending. We need to feel that when we are in the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We need to try and be in paradise with our soul. The body is there, but we need to try and be in paradise, inshallah, with our soul. And that's when the dua, we know that the dua is accepted if there is hudur al-qalb, we are told. If there's the presence of the heart. In another hadith we are told dua has to come from jihat al-dua. So this is what's going to bring me to the beginning of the journey. From the beginning of the journey, we need to try and be with Ahlul Bayt in submission. So we are preparing ourselves as we take every step towards the journey, towards the airport, towards the hotel. When we get from the hotel towards the shrine, we need to try and say, like those who came to join Imam Hussein alayhi salam, detaching from their world and attaching to the world of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, detaching from their belongings, their family, mal and banoon, their children, everything, leaving it all behind to come and join Imam Hussein alayhi salam, willing to give everything. If we go in that way, that we are detaching from anything that hurts the Ma'sumeen, in the sense that if we have bad habits, if we are stuck with sins and so many burdens, we want to detach from all that and come and be with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, on the path of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. By then, when we enter, we are entering pure. Our ruh is entering pure. That is when the ruh is accepted. Now we're entering a garden from the gardens of paradise. Then our dua should not be, as some of our scholars, they mention that many people, when they go to ziyarah, their dua is at the level of their attachments. They have not yet detached. So all what they're asking for are things to do with their own attachments, whether it be a son who is unwell or themselves being unwell. The dua of those who want to be in the shrine of Imam Hussein with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, body and soul, the ruh is there, should be amongst the du'as of the ruh, what the ruh wants. Let us pay attention, and this is my advice to all the mu'mineen and mu'minat who go to ziyarah. Let us pay attention to what the ruh wants, not what the body wants. The body perhaps attached to all the worldly things, but it has its chances. Throughout here we can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those things. However, now it is time. We are in a garden in paradise. It is time to attach to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. In fact, one of our great scholars who noticed or who witnessed somebody whose salam was responded to. His salam in the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam was responded to. And he asked him, he said, how did you achieve this level? He says, every time I came to the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, I never asked for anything for me even. I only asked for the things for the Imam himself. In other words, for the present Imam, Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. This is where the dua is mustajab. I pray for my Imam. I pray for the safety of my Imam. I pray for the quick reappearance of my Imam. I recognize the loneliness of my Imam, so I want to be amongst those who they have some empathy with their Imam. And that is why, since I had this status, anytime I come, there was not a single time that I said, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, that I did not hear the response, wa alayka assalam. We know for sure that he is there. We know for sure that his ruh is there and we are with him. If our body enters there and our soul enters there fully, then we can, if we connect with the ruh, well, we can, and inshallah we will hear the response that وَتَرُدُّ سَلَامِ, we say in the ziyarah, أشهد أنك تسمع كلامي, or ترى مقامي وتسمع كلامي وترد سلامي, you see my place and you respond to my salam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are amongst those zawar who are present with their heart in the ziyarah, so that their prayers are answered. Obviously, part of those reminders, that inshallah just a few reminders in the end I want to say, is to make sure that throughout the ziyarah we make sure we do the things that pleases the imams, the ma'sumeen, salawatullah wasalamu alayhim. When the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam describes, or he gives the criteria of how to know the Shia, how to know my followers, our Shia, he says, you know them through the time of salat, number one. So we make sure that there is a great emphasis on praying on time, and perhaps that would be a lesson for the rest of our lives, so that we are the Shia that are placing a lot of emphasis on the time of salat, praying on time. It is knowing them through seeing them when it comes for a time for salat, that they pray on time, they don't delay their salat. That is one of the attributes of the Shia. Another attributes of the Shia is that you know them through helping one another. We need to make sure that we are thoughtful of all the mu'mineen and mu'minat that are in need, especially the followers of Ahlul Bayt salawatullah wasalamu alayhim. If you see them and you know that they are in need, part of being the follower of Ahlul Bayt is to be helpful to those people, to be concerned about two aspects, as we say, yuqimuna salata wa yu'tuna zakata. So we make sure that we pray on time, inshallah, and also pay the charity and help, especially help the mu'mineen, the followers of Ahlul Bayt salawatullah wasalamu alayhim. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us all to have the visitation, the ziyarah of our imams in this dunya and their shafa'ah in the hereafter. We ask him to make us amongst those who listen to what's said and follow what's best. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.